Hello and welcome to our Minecraft Hardcore World. I'm Doom Mountain and this is episode 17 from our world. Guys, I would like to just start off this episode by saying a huge thank you to the massive amount of support on our last episode where we built up the Mason triplets sort of caving mining area sort of thing, which, you know, I was really happy with how this build came up. I think it looks pretty cool and be able to have a little feature of our, oh, hang on, it was working before. Yeah, our little feature of the minecart that goes down and comes back up, if I remember to turn on that middle one. I think this whole area came up really nice and helped add to the lore and the story of, you know, this village, which we still need to come up with a name of. But yeah, guys, I would just like to say a big thank you to all the support shown on the last episode. Now, for today, guys, I spent all day yesterday, I'm not even joking, the whole day collecting up wood so we could work on our docks. So guys, the whole time that we kept walking down here and I've been saying, yeah, we'll just finish up our docks, that sort of stuff, and kept putting it off. Well, today's the day, and I think we can make a really cool sort of cool entrance area, because it's not just the docks down here, alright? I know I'm walking and trying to buy some time, but as you can see, as we start to get down here, so I spend a lot of time on this path and I always run through it. It's not just the docks, it's also our entrance, as well as, because some bright ideaed guy had the idea of putting in like a little bit of a quarantine area where any goods that we get from the docks, you know, anything that gets shipped in from any other villages, we can put it over here and quarantine it. So in this episode, I really want to try and, first of all, get our docks built up because, well, I mean, it's so easy now to actually go from here to the homestead by boat. We just need to put in the docks so it actually looks a little bit fancier. As well as, like, come on, this is our entrance to our really cool looking village. It's a bit of a disappointing sight, really. So guys, we're going to be working on that today, and the first thing that we need to do is remove all of this sugarcane. So let me run along now the whole area where, oh, glitchy sugarcane, okay, all of this area where our docks are going to be, and remove all of the unwanted sugarcane, and I'll be right back. Quickly go steal the nitwit's bed. Oh, why can they sleep and I can't? Darren, this is rude. Alright guys, so as you can see now we have stripped away all of the sugarcane that's going to take up the area where our docks will be. Some of the water, as you can see, it's not quite that deep, but we will sort of make a bit more of a breach out, and that's why I was sort of thinking we cut it off at that corner, sort of where those drowns are exploring. We will take care of them, don't worry. But as you can see, I have 3 different log types in my inventory. I have spruce, oak, and I have dark oak. Now, we're going to be stripping the logs when they're in the water. However though, I want to see which one has the best sort of shading between the... So if I didn't strip them, this here would look really cool as a contrast between wet wood and a bit more of a drier wood. But because we want to strip them... No, this definitely wins. This is way too contrasting. These for the win. Alright, so we now know what our pillar gradient's going to be. It's going to be, that's the dark oak on the bottom, is it? Yeah, the dark oak on the bottom will work nicely as it's a bit more darker. It's sort of as though it's absorbed up the water, where our stripped spruce will sort of be a bit more baked in the sun, so it sort of has a chance to dry out. Alright, cool. So we know what our pillars are going to look like. Our dock is pretty much just going to be, I think, a combination between sort of spruce trap doors and half spruce, half slab sort of thing to sort of really break up the area. Now, what I want to do is run along. I think here is going to be probably where I... actually, it'll be kind of like in line here with where I want a pillar to go. So I'm just going to run along now if I can actually stay afloat on the land, I'm going to run along and sort of map out the sort of lining of where we want our docks to be. So that way we can just sort of follow this path. Come on, you can do it, Mountain. There we go. Follow this pathway and be able to really nail out where everything lays up. Now you'll notice that I am making it in line with the water, and that is because, hello, Captain Grogs, can I just borrow this boat for a second? When we land on to the, well, arrive to the pier, or the dock, whatever you want to call it, we want to be able to just park up and jump up. I'll jump up, won't jump over because it'll be land on there, you know what I mean. But so I want it in line with this sort of platform level, so that way it's easy enough for the boats to be able to dock, people get off and on, and that sort of thing. And we will be running a railing along the whole sort of parameter of this, which I think will look really, really good in the oak trapdoors, because they have that sort of, it kind of looks like a bit of a railing in its texture. Just trust me, I'm pretty sure it will work as a good idea. So for now, I'm thinking, let's run our line. Do I want to go completely straight with it, or do I want to start to curve it in a little bit? I'm thinking maybe let's curve it in a little bit. So if I go out like to here, and then let's go out, say this is our center, so we'll take this one 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We could try and curve off our path, but I think if we have our docks butt up to here, we might be able to just put like a little tower sort of thing that watches over the perimeter. So I think this might be a nice shape. I want the dock to sort of finish up maybe around here, but I want the land to actually just kick back in. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's curved over too much over here. So let's just add in this sort of idea for a bit of terraforming later on. So here's our idea. Our pier is going to sort of finish off here, and it will just sort of run its course along into the world there. Over here is where we've got all for our boats to be able to come up, dock up, so we can have some of the larger ships maybe pull in along the frontwards along here, where we'll have some of the smaller ones dock up along this pathway like so. And then we've got a nice clearing over here where we can actually load up. I can't even stay on this thin dirt platform. Hey, I did it! We'll have this nice sort of large space where we can actually store things that are coming in from different villages on this dock. Alright, let's now go through and place in all of our dark oak. So, this one here, nice and easy, is going to start up. Ooh, actually, do it nice and easy, and then he struggles. Lovely. Let's go up to about there, and then I think these all should maybe go along groups of 3 or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. Yeah, I think that's a much nicer spacing in between. Alright, so I'm going to go along, place all of these in, and then I'll bring you back. See you in a moment. Oi! No! Jeez. Now, how many is it from there so I can get back on track? Ooh, you've got a trident. Break time. Yeah! Oh, took him out with a one hit. Oh, did I get the trident? No, but I keep forgetting this has these. They're out of date, the mob heads, but you know, they're here in the pack. Let's just put this one over here. Send a message to the rest of them. Oh, okay, how much was this distance? 1, 2. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have gone all the way along here now and placed in, even spaced our pillars out of the dark oak. Now what I want to do is go in and start doing a bit of the texturing. So I've got everything to go in line now with the water for the dark oak, and I'm going to start placing the spruce. Now, each pillar I'm sort of going to go, for example, this one here, let's say, I'm only going to take off one of them, but each pillar here is going to be too high. This one here, I might go, you know what, I'm taking out 3 of them, and then bringing that up and going up 1 extra. And then when we come through and strip these, they're all going to have different sort of slightly darker tones to sort of show that bit more of absorption of the water, as we sort of showed over there with our first sort of diagram between the stripped versions of them. Now I know it's a very small detail, but you know, if you're going to live in a world, you got to do it right. So that's what we'll get done now, and it'll just be a matter of laying out the wood all the way back to the land, and then we should be able to have a fair grip onto our docks, and I think, yeah, that'll give us that nice start to be able to work with all of our trapdoors. So let me get this quickly done, and then I will show you the progress. Progs, you're in the way. Thank you. Oi! Mate, you made me break my log. That was rude. Oh, hello. Are you following me? Well, that was rude. You hurt yourself. Nah, this is my area. You gotta stay over there. What is it with all these drowns? Alright guys, so all of these pillars are in place now. They have been stripped as needed. Now what I've got is my spruce slabs and my spruce trapdoors, which I'm going to be placing pretty much the same level here as the dirt. I am going to be using it as a guideline sort of thing to be able to walk around with. But as you can see, I am going to keep this layer of water underneath us. Now the reason for this is, we might be able to get lucky enough and actually have this dock work as a farm. Now, I heard that. Who's throwing a trident at me? Do it again. See what happens. Oh, you're there. Alright, let me explain anyway. You see, glow squid will spawn in a dark place underwater. They only need like a 1x1 sort of space of water source to spawn in. So if we start to get lucky enough and seeing some glow squid spawn underneath our docks here, we can set up some magma blocks underneath the water and actually set up little stations where these glow squids can actually get sucked down to and die on the magma blocks, and then we can pick up their loot. So it's worth seeing if we can actually have that option running for this farm, get this farm running for this dock. So yeah, I'm just going to leave the water in here, and what I'm going to do is when we make our railing out of the oak, what was they called? The oak trapdoors. That's when we'll actually see a nice little guard between our section and the free open water. Alright, enough sort of explaining on a little bit. Before I go and just finish off this, where'd you go? Huh? Where are you? There you are! Come on, you even had a chance to line me up. I got a trident! Yes! Woo! Alright, let's put you up in the tree for safekeeping. It's somewhere over there. I'm sure it's fine. I missed the tree, but you know what? It'll be fine. Alright, guys. Let me finish off this dock. Also, I should probably mention that I am going to go back to this line here. So all of that will be wood, but I'm thinking of actually replacing this with stone and making it a pathway. So we'll work that out a bit after, but for now I'm going to get all of the wood to strip all the way back down, stretch all the way back down to here. So I'll see you in a while. This is actually going to take a bit of time. I might go put on a book. Put on a like a movie or something on YouTube and sit back and relax. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Alright guys, we have finally finished placing down all of our spruce slabs and spruce trapdoors to form our docking sort of area here for our port, as well as turning the dirt that was behind us into the sort of stoned textured ground. You can see behind me that I have also worked on where we're going to be sort of storing our items as they're in quarantine before they can enter into the village. But I would also like to just sort of step on one thing of, I did use the dripstone blocks here as our sort of butting lip up to the sort of the docks of this area, as to sort of represent sort of the own wood from our trees of our area. Because as you guys know, all of our custom trees in this, man, I really need to find a name for this village, but all the trees here are made out of the dripstone blocks to sort of have their trunks and all that sort of stuff there. So I thought it'd be a nice little tie-in to just use it like so. I also think that right behind me we need to just place in a fisherman's hut, which will sort of square off from my left and my right and sort of divide the area between what's sort of not in this area of the village and what is. So yeah, I think that might be what we need to add in there, as well as all of the decoration that's just sort of going to be plonked up along the docks, such as, you know, chests and barrels, that sort of stuff. But we'll get into that in a minute. Let me show you the little quarantine area which I have set up. Now, as you can see, we've got two nice large storage areas on either side where items can be stored as they sit here to quarantine for their determined period, to make sure that there isn't any sort of bugs or whatever that might be coming in from a foreign village off the river to sort of, you know, we don't want anything destroying or contaminating our lovely village above. And then once everything has served its time here, then we can sort of set it off a little bit of a rail system which we'll put in and shoot us directly up to where our sort of pickup station for where the quarantine booth will be. Now, we've also, because you're probably thinking, well, how do we get up and down from the docks? I thought it'd be really nice to tie in this just little curve up the hillside. And I think it really does just add in that nice little touch, especially if we put in a custom tree somewhere along here and put in some bushes and maybe even some crops just growing along the sideline here. And then we can put in our two arching towers over here and over here. That sort of significance, signifies, that's the right one. I got it in the end. It signifies that we are now entering into our village. And I think, yeah, this is going to be really, really cool. And as you can see, guys, this is where we're going to lead up to our sort of quarantine build, which I still need to put in the path, but, you know, it's a nice amount of space there, and I think we could do something really nicely. But first off, guys, let's collect up some resources, and let's just jump on down here so we can show off a little bit of the idea of what I'll be doing before we step away again. So I'll be back in one moment. Alright, so let's start off this first demonstration of what I'm going to be doing by actually putting in the trapdoors that I was talking about at the start. And now for this, I think all we got to do is lay ourselves up nicely, make sure that, yep, that opens up inwards, and then this is a little bit harder when you're in the water because you can't quite crouch as easily, but we just got to quickly keep clicking on top of each one of those. That's what I mean when you're in the water, it stops you crouching. Something that looks like this, and as you can see what I mean by it looks like it's a nicer sort of meshed grading system that's nicely going to sort of close off the two areas. Now, another good thing about this being trapdoors is once you get in or off your boat, you can just jump up, walk in, and close it off. Meaning you can dock a boat anywhere along the dock. That's the whole idea. So it's very accessible, and we can change it up so we've got a larger ship coming in, we can get it access, and if we've got a smaller one, we can just put it off into the side. Now, another thing that we can do is, well, we're going to have things coming in and out from, you know, the docks. So we need to have some probably barrels set up ready to have things stored, or even have things in them. But barrels, I mean crates. What? You guys saw that too. What the hell? Where did my trapdoors go? Okay, let's try that again. Good. Now, I don't have on me at the moment any like sand, which I usually try and put into these things to show off a bit of like grain, which we did over near our farmhouse. Geez, it seems like a while ago now. But we can come back in and add these in a little later on, and it just really sort of helps build up a little bit more character into these areas, as well as probably not filling them up completely. So, you know, we've got some sections where it might only be a half full crate, or it might be, you know, a crate that's just got one little spot there because everything sort of slipped as it was in storage, and, you know, just sort of adding in a bit more of that realistic vibe. Now, speaking of realistic, I will put a lid on this once I've actually enclosed whatever it is that I'm putting inside of it. Now, we don't just need to do sort of crates like this, we can come on over and make ourselves I've got the jungle for this because we've got a lot of it for spare and plentiful. We can come through and add in different lots of chests just sitting around, piled up here in a battle higgledy-piggledy, and just sort of, you know, build up around a few areas. We can even come through and sort of set up maybe some shelves. So we come up, say 3, do a gap of, let's say, yeah, why not 3, up another 3. We come in again with our trapdoors. Now the reason why I'm using the oak is because it sort of separates itself from all of the spruce that is around. And now with that said, I will probably come through and just strip these to show off that they're a little bit different. I might even actually change that wood later on. We'll see how that goes. But then we could just sort of store up along here a few sort of more okay, I can't put it on that one. Okay, well, I'll work out something that we can put on there. And then, yeah, we could just have them at different levels and different heights. And I've also got a few lanterns, which, are you going to let me place you on top of that? You are. So see, we can have a bit of extra lighting stored around. We can continue these on, so we'll have another 3. And this just might be a little bit of a section up here. How have I messed this up so bad? You're trying to do it on camera. That is why. And then coming on in here, we'll also probably go through and include a few more shelves for maybe some more of our, I don't know, delicate items or something that's not in a large crate that we can just sort of pile up in the corner. So, you know, we'll come back through and maybe even add in some more of these crate ideas because, well, they just work, and it also adds a little bit more to the story and the lore of this area. Gives us gives us something to look at so that when we walk into the area, it looks lived in, it looks used. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go and sleep because, yeah, you want to know how I've been surviving this hardcore world? I sleep every time it gets dark. I am terrified of the night. See, look, there's skeletons over there. I hate it. So yeah, I'm going to sleep, continue on the decorating over here, and then I'll bring you guys back in for the final sort of stage, which is just building up those last few houses, and then we should have a finished area. Alright guys, I will see you in the morning, hopefully. Was that an Enderman? Alright, so after a hard night, what? Words. Right, let's... Alright guys, after spending the night working very, very hardly over here on our docks, I think I have really sort of started to tie this all together. It's got a really nice sense of, you know, it's being lived in. There's seats for people to sit around. We've even got like little pet cats over by the storage. And yes, I worked out what to put onto my oddly shaped shelves. The boats. Of course we should have boats up here being stored. This is the docks. So it just seemed natural. Now, this trident is not the smartest trident. I keep throwing it and trying to have it going crossways like this, but every time I log in and out, it keeps trying to point as though it's trying to come back to me, even though it's just a regular trident, it has no chance on it. So I don't know why it's going to keep changing its position, but I think that's just bedrock being bedrock. But as you guys can see as we go around, we've got a few little decorations, like we've got some of these what are they, salmon on the campfires, which we put out with some splash potions of water just to sort of put out the fire but keep the food on there to really show, like, you know, oh, they've gone out and done some catching and now they've got them out here drying, getting ready to cook up and prep. We've even got our stock of crates that are coming in or that are going out from the lands. We've even, you know, flashed out and put in some gold blocks in there because well, at the moment I didn't have any other real need for them and I thought they might look cool here, and I still agree. As you guys probably saw over here, we even included a little fish tank that has one of our very own salmon from the river, as well as 2 puffer fish. There's one over there, one over there. Eventually, I think we might go out and try and find some tropical fish or even an axolotl or something and just chuck into the aquarium and, you know, just have a nice little cool feel about this. Sorry if my voice sounds like it's moving in and out of the microphone. I'm waiting on a fridge to be delivered and I think that might be it. But until I hear the door knock, let's continue on with the tour. So as you can see, we've got over here our sort of the quarantine vault, which at the moment does not have a large amount of stock. But as we start to explore more in the world, you'll see that, you know, things start to get added onto here. Now we even have the chested minecarts, minecart chests, to go along everywhere here, and we'll lead off eventually up into where we've got our sort of all cleared area for the quarantine. Yes, I did not continue on building this area here because I had no idea what to do and I didn't want to work on it until I sort of did the upstairs part. But yeah guys, I really hope you do sort of like a bit of this sort of decor around on the docks, just to sort of make in with telling of the story, because, you know, as I sort of said before about why we've used our, I wanted to use the dripstone block to sort of tie in with our wood, because we don't actually have any, you know, oak or a birch or spruce jungle trees around here, so it makes sense that, you know, we actually get them imported in and they come up over here onto the docks before they get taken off to be used in buildings. So, you know, I'm really happy with how this area ties in. Now for the next part is, well, as I said, I want to put a building over here that's going to be our fishing dock. So I want to go through with you guys, mark out the houses and sort of a rough idea of, I heard that zombie, of where things are going to be. So that way when I can just sort of jump off, build them up, because, I mean, looking behind me now, you can see all the buildings that we've done on camera and that before. It's going to be just a big rinse and repeat of them, except this one's going to act as a fisher's hut. So I might even put some more barrels down here and even try and convince a villager to want to live by the docks where all the drowns keep, you know, maybe I won't be able to. Alright guys, and as we are leaving our docks, we do have two lovely little custom trees just poking up in this nice little section here where I thought would look good with a bit of, you know, greenery. I even said maybe putting in some crops, but I then kind of thought that might be a conflict of interest, trying to have a biohazard protection system down here, but then having free range. So yeah, I just scrapped that idea and put in some trees, and I really like how it looks. I like how it looks that much that as we make our way up the path to where we were going to have our arching sort of entranceway, yeah, I like this stuff too much that I kind of accidentally built in the spot where I wanted to put a building. So instead, I think what we might do is clear off a bit of this area over here and just sort of put in like a house or an office space where we sort of just do the inspection and make sure that everyone's all good and, you know, is going to abide by the rule. Sorry, get out of here, you're distracting me. Yeah, and just sort of have like the office here where you sort of check in and check out as you come and go through the village, because we just don't want any random people strolling on into this. We really need to name this, guys, before we finish it up. I've got no idea. Please leave a comment. just leave a comment with a name, because I've got no idea for this spot. But as we make our way over here, we have the final spot we need to work on, which is that sort of all cleared from the quarantine station, and the items can come up and be retrieved and sent up into the village. Now, this is 3 builds roughly to go, and I think what it's going to be the easiest is, as I sort of said when I was marking up where the fisherman one is, I've shown you what we're going to do. I've sort of said the area and the space, what each item, words. I've shown you the area and the space of which sort of each build's going to be and what it's going to be for, which is pretty much what we did, I don't know, an episode or 2 ago when we did the enchanting hut and, you know, the tavern and that sort of stuff. So you guys have seen that build up process. So now let's just let's just hope that we can just do a quick cutscene and we'll have a lovely build over here, a lovely build over there, and a lovely build down there. Alright guys, let's see if I can do it. Alright, fridge guys can come now. Finish recording my scene. Yeah! Alright guys, we are back, and as you can see from behind me, I did not quite get set up the quarantine station up here, nor did I get our sort of main entrance guard point for the village. And this is because, well, I've come to the realization that I can just set up a task and I can just keep working on it and working on it and working on it, and it can take a bit of time, especially with work, so episodes are starting to get really stretched out apart. So I've really got to start setting myself just a time frame, you know, to be able to get everything done, and unfortunately, I'd have to say that I'm out of recording time for this episode. So instead of getting 3 buildings done like I wanted to between that last scene and this one, I've only managed to be able to get 1, which is our sort of fishing dock area. So I'm really sorry, I've had to make the decision that, you know, I want this episode to come out, so I've got to stop building now. We might do these 2 at the start of next episode, or I might just try and get them in between them. But either way, let's now go off and see what I have done, which is our new lovely fisherman dock house. Let's go check it out. Alright guys, as we make our way down the pathway, we can see that this nice 2-story house really sets into place this sort of edge between our village, the dock, and the sort of wilderness of the outside. We have a lovely little pond out here, which I think I might need to go and do some bone milling around it. I've been collecting up some, coral blocks and that sort of stuff, so maybe put some of that in, but I just sort of ran out of time. But I think it's a nice little pond just to go on the side here. But we have this sort of decoration on the side, and then on each edge of this house, we have two little peeking sort of areas. One set up here because it's nice and close to the dock work, so we can have this as like a workstation, a bit of storage and things to sort of just work on in this area, nice and close to the docks and also nice and close to a house with some resources. I've also included some of the spruce trap doors to sort of break up that flat wall and give a bit more of a depth to it, so you can see that there's shelving and storage is able to actually be, placed upon there. I've also added this sort of idea of shelving on the kind of side post of the house here, but I just kind of didn't get the chance to. I wanted to add in a few boats to sort of have it as a boat storage, but I ran out of time, as I said. I've also just noticed that I forgot to place in the corner bits of my flower box. And flowers! So there's supposed to be a flower box there outside the window, but I've just forgotten to finish that off. I can't believe I missed that. Alright, if we come back around to this entrance point here, before we go inside the area, we have a little split off in the path, which takes us up to a nice little, a little field of potatoes, so that, we're out here fishing, we want to be able to have some fish and chips, so we've got to be able to grow our potatoes close. So that was the idea of here, and also included some of the glowberries. It's just a nice sort of break up in the texture, a bit more life of the greenery. I don't know, I thought it might work, and I don't mind it being in here at all. We also have this second path which leads off around the other edge of our pond, but it also gives us the option of having an expansion later on that leads us to a pathway or maybe to another village or area down here. So it's just it's an option for an add-on, which I think is very useful and important to have in worlds that you especially want to expand their whole area and actually have different regions. So yeah, that was my thinking there. Alright guys, now let's go inside the fisherman's hut. Now, as you know, I tend to build the outsides and I leave them blank, because we're going to go through one episode and just finish off all the interiors of all these houses. I swear, it's just not going to be today. But if we go up through our nice grand stairway, we're going to have a nice open space here where we can put some maybe bookshelves, a bit of cabinet space, that sort of stuff, open to the public where they can get some tools, whatever that they might need to work outside in the dock area. Now I'm going to put in here a door to sort of signify that this is now a private area. This is the actual fisherman's house, and we can go up the ladder into this very nice open space that has lovely lookouts over our village and into the docks area of the water. We also get a nice little lookout up sort of near the hill here from these two windows, which I actually really like how they sort of just view. It looks really cool. And then we've got another window looking out, our bees, and our entranceway. But yeah guys, this is our dock house. I am really sorry that I did not get to finish the other two buildings, but as I said, I want to get some more regular content out to you guys. You guys have been showing the support, now I need to do my end and get a bit more out there. So yeah guys, I really hope you have enjoyed seeing up this build here. But guys, with that all said, and as the sun slowly dips below the hillside behind us, we are going to have to call that an end for today's episode. We have made a massive amount of progress. Like, where we're standing here was just dirt and water before. Now we've got a lovely dock section, a nice little fish tank behind us, some storage. We even have the starting setup of our quarantine area right underneath behind us there, which really does look cool. We've got in 2 new custom trees. We have the perfect layout to be able to enter into our village, and we know what 2 buildings we need to just put up on behind me in the hill there, which will really tie in once that's added. We also added in, if I'm going to say, got quite impressive little hut here for our fishermen. I'm really happy with how it turned up. The sort of shape to it's really nice. Looks lovely near the pond, and yeah, I am really happy with the progress we have made. I just wish that I was able to work a little bit quicker. And those guys look like they mean business. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for all the support on the last episode, and yeah, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this, and until next time, bye! God, please don't attack my village. Run!